The phrase and idea and concept that is expressed as I am God or you are God, it terrifies people because they hear it through the filter of their own trauma, the filter of their own deficit. They hear it through ego, and the idea, the notion of ego getting a free pass of identifying as God is frightening. And I am not talking about ego becoming God. And I'm not sure if I can express the nuance and the difference in the frequency, in the vibration, in the different place from which I am speaking from. Perhaps there is scientific technology to measure this by attaching probes to the brain and to register the brain waves of which part of the brain is responding to this phrase of I am God. There is, let me see if I can express this, the deficit of trauma. When a person feels impoverished in their soul identity, because all their life they have been put down, negated, invalidated, and dismissed, to the point where soul dissociation has occurred and it left a big gaping void that's generally expressed in the form of a narcissist. If such a person in their very strongly presenting ego were to lay a hold of this concept of I am God, that would end up in a grandiose, tyrannical expression. And that's not what I'm referring to at all. I'm not referring to a grandiose ego. I am referring to the consciousness. Consciousness is not a thought of ego or of the mental mind. Consciousness is sensed energy, sensed vibration, the sixth sense of picking up on a familiar vibration. The vibration of source is the same vibration as the soul, the higher soul self. And to become conscious of this vibration is to become conscious of one's God self. Not the God ego, but the God self that is expressed as the soul or spirit. It's a higher vibration than the ego, the mental capacity and the mental ability to perceive. It's beyond mental. And that is the realm, the knowing of one's God self. And that comes not from a impoverished and depleted identity of lack. It comes from knowing that one is already full and complete. So in other words, we're not trying to accomplish God's status by enacting and doing a whole bunch of things. Like in the world, we see this in the arena of the superstars and celebrities. They are parading themselves as gods, self-serving gods, because there is something missing in their life, and they artificially inflate their ego to become more, to try and feel like they are more. I'm not referring to that. The knowledge of the soul, of its God, self-consciousness, comes from a full place. There is no lack there. Therefore, there is not the compulsion to try to become something. It's a knowing that you already are all things quantumly. I hope this makes some sense. It's very difficult to explain because it's not meant to be understood if you understand what I'm saying. That is not consciousness. Consciousness is not understanding. Consciousness is a knowing. The knowing yourself from the full place, from the absolute place. And this absoluteness, this fullness, is what generates the contentment and the peace, the love, and the lack of fear, and the lack of insecurity, because at that dimensional knowledge, there just is nothing that needs to be feared. Again, I can't explain it. It's just a vibration, it's a frequency that expresses itself as this absolute peace, this rest. I guess the Bible would call it shalom. It's this rest, absolute rest in knowing.